In the darkness, no one can hear you, no one can see you. You lived your life alone, quiet, solitary, and you died, maybe by your own hand, hung a desperate attempt to feel anything, or maybe just passing circumstance snuffed you out, and you found yourself in hell. And then, when you tore yourself out, the first act of passion you managed in your entire existence, and you returned to a dark world, made even darker by the presence of beings such as yourself, with the ability to manipulate yin and yang, what would you conclude? What should you do? A temptation is to succumb back to the patterns you have always known. You always knew that the darkness, the quiet were beings for you, but now you can manipulate them. The yin within you is a tool that you've always known in some sense that you could use, and now you can. So you start upon the Song of Shadows. Or maybe it's completely the reverse. You started out with wild passion and abandon, and that got you killed, and then, well, best not to continue with the previous pattern, try something different. In either case, the Dharma of the Song of Shadows, heavily based, connected with yin, with the passive, receptive energy, the energy of death, of life and death, but more death, and the bridge between the two, the energy that suffuses you, kindred of the West, to such a degree your blood positively reeks of it. You would be a Song of Shadows dessert. But anyway, this Dharma of which I speak, it is the passive one, it is the learned one. It is the one in which you achieve enlightenment by figuring it out, thinking about it. If this makes me slightly more enlightened, and this makes me slightly less, and if we did that, then, maybe I should try this next century or the one after. It's a very cold and callous and very slow one. But it is connected directly with our undead condition, with the world of the dead. And observing them gives us a strange insight into ourselves. Because I say they are callous creatures practically without any emotion, save maybe the intellect and some fear. But they put great weight on filial bonds, on their family. They stay close to their mortal family, and they trace them through the generation, and they aid them. Further proof, if you wanted, that family loyalty is not based on emotion, but is something of a completely different nature. They also obey rules and procedures. And how, you asked, do they achieve enlightenment? Do they just figure it out? Well, partially. But study can't get you to enlightenment. It's also the nature of what they study. They study their own condition. They study the dead, the undead, the spirit world. They talk with it. They gain greater and greater understanding of everything that makes them. And as this understanding grows, their power grows, their callousness grows, and their potential for liberating themselves grows. They are maybe one of the most common of the undead dharmas. It's an easy one to fall into and a hard one to lift yourself out of, because who cares? And in the extreme case, if they just keep to themselves, obey all their rules, they can just vanish into obscurity of indifference. So yes, there are many of these out in the nights, and many of them will not care about you one whit, And those who do care about you will, well, that'll be quite a painful encounter. And they walk amongst mortals, feeding as needed, because feeding is a requirement. And many are repelled by them, and some hopelessly romantic, deluded Goths, poets, they fall for them. They fall head over heels in love with a being so cold that they can barely understand love as an intellectual concept, let alone as something that could move you to do anything. I've once encountered one of their bodhisattvas. It was interesting. A place, a dark place, it would have been full of the screams of some of the dying if they had not had their vocal cords cut so as not to interrupt the experiments, and places of growth, places of young couples making love, also quiet, and everything there to study and to observe, and I was deemed marginally more interesting to be left alive and unsullied, and that is the only reason that I walked out from there. I can still feel them now, looking, observing, following me. Yes, they are following and they are waiting. And the great fear that we have is what is the last step that they need to take, the transcendence, to break free and join the wheel of ages once more. What is their last step, and how terrible will it be? Is it just a night of quiet contemplation? Is it just that they merge with the yin world? Is it that they unleash the spirits of the yin world upon the world to feast? Must they put down all humans in existence so that death can run rampant? We're not sure. And yes, this should give you an idea why these beings are never trusted or never liked. But they know so much, and they are so useful. And until that day, their final step that we do not know, they are trustworthy. They will do what they say, because it is useful for them to be known to keep their word. They will dispassionately and carefully play the role of your friend, play the role of your ally, and they'll play it well. But are not all friends and allies just playing a role? Anyway, good night, good day, friend, and speak with you on the morrow.